2 Uwe Boll movies in 1 week. Fuck my life. This is week 11. Oh, God. Okay, so last week I got off really easy. I didn't have to watch any Uwe Boll movies. So, naturally, what happens? This week, I get caught up in a whirlwind of shit, and I have to watch 2 of his freaking movies. Fortunately, one of them, I hate to say it, wasn't that bad. And that movie was Postal, and I'm not saying it's good. Hell no, it's not good. But the interesting thing about this movie is the fact that it's a comedy. It doesn't take itself seriously. Not like the other 3 messes that were in this challenge. Now yes, it's really moronic, very tasteless, and quite pathetic. But you know what? It's actually kind of entertaining. And I really hate myself for saying that. The main thing about the movie is that it's meant to offend. Meant to shock. It's meant to just be complete, utter nonsense, mayhem, chaos. It is a poorly made movie, but for Uwe Boll standards, it's like one of his masterpieces. The game it's based on is actually Postal 2, not really the first one, but the second one. Which I really don't know the difference. All I know about those games is that you had to go around killing people, lighting them on fire, pissing on them. There was no plot. This movie pretty much has no plot either, other than the fact that there's a shortage of a popular kid's toy. A group of hippie anarchists want to steal these gadget toys and sell them for millions of dollars, and the Taliban want them so that they can stick some kind of virus in each doll and infect children and people all around the world. So this movie, yes, is meant to offend everybody. It's meant to mock the Taliban, meant to mock George W. Bush as the president and the American government. The main character, which is played by Zach Ward, he is simply known as the Postal Dude. He just goes postal because everything in his life is shit. You know, I don't want to go in depth on this shit. I'm just going to simply say that, yeah, it's a terrible movie. It's really terrible. But at the same time, because it's a comedy, and the fact that Uwe Boll actually parodies himself, he's actually in the film as himself. He says that he funds his movie with Nazi gold, and he gets turned down by children in the audience. It's actually quite funny because he's taking all the nasty things that were ever said about him and just kind of embracing it. At this point, he knows he's a shitty director, so then he just decides to just make this incredibly ridiculous film that's just filled with senseless violence and potty humor. Sticking a gun up a cat's ass and using it as a silencer. Vern Troyer getting raped by monkeys, which is actually kind of funny. A cop randomly shooting an old Asian lady. Children getting shot, which I don't like that at all. A lot of sexual jokes, a lot of just racial jokes. It's just, I hate to say it, a little bit funny. It's completely low-brow, lowest common denominator humor. But Uwe Boll actually does it well. He does it a hell of a lot better than the other crap he's ever made. Postal is a bad movie. But in comparison to all the other junk that Uwe Boll has touched, it's actually quite good. And that's the only reason why I am going to give Postal a 2 out of 5. Fuck no, I don't recommend this movie. Do not watch this movie. So now we come to BloodRayne 2 Deliverance. Dumb, long, lazy, unsexy, badly edited, horribly acted, boring. I just want to stress that it is so boring. This movie was another reason why I hesitated to start this challenge. I've kind of seen this film before, and I meant to say I've seen Postal before as well, but I never really paid attention to it. For this one, it was worse because, you know, I used to work for a video store. I used to get rentals for free. And despite the fact that I had seen BloodRayne before and hated it, I rented this piece of shit because the actress that plays Rain is incredibly sexy and she had a really hot Maxim magazine photo shoot at the time. So I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to see the movie because The goal was hard. I remember putting the movie on, watching about 10 minutes of it, then fast forwarding it, just waiting for something exciting to happen, some type of action sequence, anything. There was no action in this movie, there's very little. It's all towards the end. The worst thing about this movie is that it takes forever for things to actually happen. Take this for example, I got this can of generic soda and I'm thinking about drinking it. I hold the can in my hand for about 2 minutes. You get a bunch of shots that look like this. You get a bunch of piss poor dialogue, and then I finally drink the soda. That's how this movie is. It seems to take place in like real time instead of actually editing out all the boring things that you can imagine. Best example I can give you, and this might contain some spoilers, but who gives a shit? First of all, the movie's a western, I should mention that. You know those cliche scenes in westerns where you got the heroes outside battling the bad guys, and you got the townspeople all wrapped up in one little building, usually a saloon, which they were in a saloon in this one. And you got the one guy who's usually the out-of-towner. And he's like, what's the matter with you? You guys are cowards. We should be out there fighting. In a normal movie, a scene like that would take about 30 seconds, and then those people would come out and fight. In this movie, it takes about 10 minutes. Oh, and I should definitely mention that the main villain in this movie is Billy the Kid, who was somehow turned into a vampire and now has a German accent. And he's also played by Zach Ward from Postal. By the way, the actress that plays Rain, the sexy Maxim model, she was in DOA, I couldn't pronounce her freaking name. It's Natasha Malthy. Really pretty woman, can't act with a damn. But then I don't think it was her fault. It's Uwe Boll. He just made this movie, and I don't think he was paying attention to what he was doing. Michael Play, which, I don't know, some of you might know who he is, I doubt it. I don't think at any point he was a famous actor, but he's well known in the B-movie circuit. He's always working with Uwe Boll, and he has, like, I think his biggest part in this movie. He tries to be the tough cowboy type. No. Anyway, who cares? Why the fuck am I talking about Michael Play? You know, I don't want to go on a rant with this movie. I'm just simply, this movie, it's so boring. It's far worse than BloodRayne. Worse. I should mention also that this went direct to DVD, it was not released in theaters. So anyway, I'm done with this piece of shit. I give it a 1 out of 5. Alright, so there you go. There's week 11. Next week should be a fun week for me as far as movie watching, because the 2 films I gotta watch are Resident Evil Extinction and Hitman. And I actually like those 2 movies, and next week I will tell you why. But for now, leave me. Comment, like, and share if you want, whatever. Subscribe. Leave me alone. Let me rest. Wa cha cha cha.